Hello, this is Chris Pickard at Body Imbalance, and today I will not only be talking about whether or not antibiotics may be a cause of Parkinson's, it seems they are. I'm also going to tell you strategies to avoid having to take antibiotics in the first place, and which are the antibiotics, which are some of the common antibiotics that you may look to try and avoid, although it's pretty grim. So let's start with antibiotics. Do they cause Parkinson's, or are they a cause of Parkinson's? Well, let's have a little look at one of the possible theories as to what causes Parkinson's. So here is a brain, okay? And the brain is linked to your organs like your gut. There's my terrible drawing of a gut with all its squiggly bits here. Basically, there's the large intestines and the colon. And the colon is connected to the brain by something called the vagus nerve. And we know that people with Parkinson's tend to also have a lot of gut problems. And the gut problems, particularly constipation, may precede the brain problems. And the theory is that somehow what's happening in the gut, the bacteria, etc., are actually talking through the vagus nerve to the brain. And what we now know by actually studying people who've been on antibiotics, this was a study in Finland, they looked at almost 14,000 people who had Parkinson's disease. And they looked back in their past to see what antibiotics they had. And they were compared to just over 40,000 people of the same age, the same sort of demographics, who didn't have Parkinson's, and looked back at antibiotic use. And they basically found that people who had Parkinson's were far more likely to have taken antibiotics. It was actually pretty strong, up to 15 years before. And so the antibiotics that they found that were sort of linked with this, were macrolides and lincosamides, antianaerobics, tetracyclines, sulfonamides, trimethoprim, and even antifungal medications. Antifungal medications seem to be happening about 1 to 5 years, being taken 1 to 5 years before the onset of Parkinson's. And so now, in particular, the most common antibiotic that I'd have is erythromycin, which I think was one of the macrolides. Can't remember off the top of my head, but erythromycin is a pretty commonly used antibiotic. And I've seen loads of patients who've had it, who've taken it. And then you have tetracyclines, which are commonly used for acne and rosacea, so skin infections very often. So if you've been given tetracyclines in the past, then you've got to listen to this. And then also trimethoprim, which is commonly used for UTIs. So now we know that antibiotic use is definitely linked to Parkinson's. What can you actually do to stop using antibiotics? And well, how do antibiotics cause what's happening? Well, they do it by basically wiping out all of your good bacteria as well as the bad bacteria. And it seems to be this wiping out of bacteria that seems to be key. Now, there are other things that alter your gut bacteria, like stress. The foods we eat alter the bacteria as well. So I'd really recommend that you go and watch some of my videos on how to boost the immune system and on how to keep the gut healthy as well. So I'll put some links to some of those. So the number one thing to actually avoid antibiotics is actually keep your immune system boosted. And the number one thing I recommend is something called glutathione. Now, some people with Parkinson's, when they actually take glutathione as a supplement, they actually seem to work better. They seem to be able to move more easily. The brain works a little bit better. So glutathione not only helps boost your immune system, it may also help some people with Parkinson's. So I'll put a link to the glutathione stuff that I've done. But then there's something else you can do. You can do things like eat lots of fresh fruits and vegetables. You can you can exercise. You can make sure you take vitamin D3 throughout winter. But there's something else as well that I really recommend. And that is something called Ganoderma lucidum. It's a Chinese medicinal mushroom. I've spoken about it in quite a lot of videos. I put a link to it. It's best had heated up, so you get it to hot drinks or hot water. And it seems to help protect your gut bacteria. It seems to have an effect on improving your immune system, but it also seems to protect your body and your nervous system from some of the other causes of Parkinson's. Various environmental toxins and pollutants seem to attack the brain and the gut, and Ganoderma seems to protect you from that. And some people with Parkinson's seem to actually feel a benefit when they actually start having Ganoderma as well, because it is actually good for the brain. So my number one tip is basically stay healthy, eat your greens, exercise, do as your mother has always said, basically. Eat your greens, get excited, have great posture, and start taking Ganoderma and look at ways to boost glutathione. So please, if you have taken antibiotics, actually start doing something about it now. Actually talk to someone who's a bit of a neurological brain immune specialist who can actually help you boost your immune system and protect your brain. Start taking Ganoderma now. And if you know someone who has got Parkinson's, maybe suggest some of these things. It might help. Glutathione, Ganoderma might help. But look at ways of improving the gut health generally. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, please share the video, like it, and comment below. Tell me what you liked about this. Tell me what you learned. Tell me what you don't like. I'd love to know. Be well.